We are live. Welcome, Alex, to my channel.
Hi, Trudy. How are you?
Oh, very well, and very happy and excited to have you here.
Cheers. Thanks. Good to
So
be here.
to start off, tell us something about yourself.
Um, yeah. So, backstory on me. I born in London. Yeah, back in the 70s, and my mum's American, and she was very young when she had me. So, we didn't have a lot of money. We were poor, um, and 17 when she had me, I think 17, and then my sister. And then we moved around a lot as kids. We lived in America, lived in Oklahoma for a little while, for about 5 years growing up. And yeah, just moved around a lot. So always a new kid at school, always moving around. Um, and yeah, so that was kind of the basis of my childhood. Came back to London when I was 13, 14, and been back in London now ever since. I did live in Malaysia for a little while, and Hong Kong and Singapore. But yeah, various jobs. I've been a fireman. I own my own company now. Yeah, but that's a kind of vague outline of my background.
Yeah, so here's Jody Sospa. Hi, Jody. Wow, it must be hard for you then growing up having to adjust the whole time.
Um, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Yeah, always been the new kid at school. That didn't, that was never fun. Every couple of years we'd have to move house and I'd be the new kid at school again. And but adaptable, very adaptable.
Yeah, I, I
Make
was
friends quickly. So
I was
um,
thinking with your person.
not always the best friends, but
Yeah.
I made friends quickly. And the troublemakers are always easy to make friends with. And
I kind of know that I was going to say with your personality, it shouldn't be difficult. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, and made yeah, when I got to my sort of early teenage years, yeah, it was a funny time in London, in as much as the whole. I know you're a contemplative nun, Trudy, and get a little bit darker, but yeah, no, the ecstasy scene, which I don't know if you were aware of, but it was like a tablet
Oh,
dance
yeah.
music thing that sort of kicked off in London in 1987,
Yeah.
88, I say 88, something like that. I was about 15, 16 years old. Um, and that just blew up in London. So, and so, yeah, so I was sort of on the edges of that at 16. And then it became a massive thing here in London. And then that sort of, unfortunately, was a large part of my life for the next, for a lot of years, sort of drinking, drugs, and socially, um, sort of party drugs, cocaine, and things like this. So yeah, it was a troubled. I mean, you think you're having fun, you think you're sort of enjoying life, as this is the life we're sold, isn't it? It's go make money, buy shiny things, and you'll be happy. And you're not. That's not
Yeah.
true. That's the lie we're sold, and unfortunately, it's that's not my experience. That those things or any external thing can make you happy. But anyway, yeah. So it was. It took me a long time. I think my soul, your soul sort of cries out eventually. After doing that for so many years,
Yeah.
constantly drinking, partying, and yeah, thinking there's going to be happiness at the end of it, and there's not. And then eventually, I managed to, uh, you know, I'm getting old. I'm 50, 52 years old now, and I was, you know, I've been sober for a year now, just over a year, 13 months.
Yeah.
and I haven't had to touch any drink or drugs since then. So, but yeah, it got me took me to some dark places, and I just had enough, and reached out and sort of went through a sort of 12-step program, and in the process of on being in that 12-step program, part of it being finding a connection with a creator, finding a connection with God, which was the last thing on my agenda to do. I just wanted to not drink and take drugs anymore and be happy somehow, so but over that during that 12-step program, the sort of first step is admitting you're powerless over sort of alcohol and drugs, and
so
and alcohol was the big player for me, but
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, hi Rachel.
So and then in the next sort of stages are coming to believe in a power greater than yourself, and eventually handing your will over to God, which is I remember reading that step and just being like traumatized. How do you hand your will over to God or Creator? But it's your understanding of God. It's not a religious God. It's not a a God from any book. It's just a God of your understanding. If it's religious, fine. But it can literally be anything you want it to be. I don't want to, but I've heard of, a grandparent, anything you can pray to outside of yourself that's greater than you. And then along that process, you start to believe in something greater than yourself. And through that process, I slowly found people like yourself, spiritually. Well, I suppose initially it was, I was just like trying to find a God, what is my God? If I don't believe in religion, I was similar to yourself. I was raised Catholic.
Yes.
And then I can't remember when I lost it, because I've been to Catholic school. Went to, here in the UK, I went to a school, all boys school run by priests, and Jesuit priests, and eventually, I didn't really have a connection then. You'd go in, you say the prayers, and that was it. And I didn't go to church on Sundays or anything like that, and never really had a connection to God in that respect. So it had, and we hadn't been growing up either. We hadn't been connected to any sort of church or anything like that. So, but when sorry to turn that off. When through with wanting to come, with having had enough of that sort of lifestyle that I'd been living, I was ready to give anything a go, and to put this behind me. So I was willing to believe in something.
Yeah.
And,
so
and then, go ahead.
Yeah, we were, sorry to interrupt, but we were talking. So could you share the moment when you made that, how did you make that complete turnaround? I find that so fascinating.
It's okay. I broke up with a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend who was living in another country, in Romania, and I'd been drinking really a lot. I'd lost my car keys. I'd lost my passport. I'd lost my wallet. This whole mess of things had happened. I finally managed to leave Bucharest, and I was flying back to London, and I bought a bottle of whiskey, and I was drinking a bottle of whiskey on the way home, and got back to the flat, and I knew that was my last drink. I'm never drinking again. And so I finished that bottle of whiskey, and went and just laid in bed for 3 days in a really, really dark place, where I don't know if there what it were, but there were just like shadows in the corner of the room. You could just, I just had, there was a present, it was just a darkness, maybe it's just hallucinations from the alcohol coming out of my system, but it definitely, I was aware. It felt like I just kept seeing things out the corner of my eye. When something passes by a door,
Yes.
it was like that constantly for a couple of days. It was in a real crap place, and I went, right, I need to get to one of these programs. So I phoned up, a 12-step program local to me, and someone come and got me and took me to a meeting. And one of the guys there just said to me, when you want to drink again, just ask for God's help. Just say, God, please take this feeling away. And that's what I did. I just said that very, very simple short prayer. God, please take this feeling away. And it worked. Like, that want for a drink just disappeared in that moment. But I really wanted this. And that got me through the first, week. And then I started the program, and it just built and built and built. And I no longer think about drink or drugs. There's a genuine joy for life now. Life seems to have purpose now, and meaning and reason, and to help others, and to try and help other alcoholics. And because of the the destruction and problems that we can cause in the world, and the suffering of families and parents and kids and children, and not to mention all the collateral damage of car crashes and God knows what else. So the never-ending, the ripple effects of all of our actions, everyone, every sort of negative thing that we do has an effect on everyone around the world. Theoretically, we've got 6 degrees of separation, and when we do anything, it never stops, that energy. And this is all stuff I've come to believe now, and come to understand now, and pay attention to now. And it's changed my whole life, but that's very, the thing the first thing that got me there was that very simple prayer. God, please take this feeling away. Just out loud, just asking for help. And
it's really remarkable, the drastic change. You must have reached complete bottom to just stop cold turkey, and that is pretty remarkable. It's like overnight.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Literally a miracle. I can't, and the programs, these programs of these rooms are full of people like that, absolute miracles, who were uncontrollable alcoholics who could drink, and lives were unmanageable, and you couldn't you'd think there was no possible help for them. And I've seen it multiple times myself, literally miracles, of people who look uncurable, look like they are lost in, a world of pain and misery, blah, blah, blah. And then through that reaching out to a creator, to a higher power, to, the spirit of the universe, call it what you want, to something. And I really do believe, like, it's like your soul, I think my soul was, because my story's slightly different. In I hadn't lost everything. I'd made a lot of money, and coming into the end of, my drinking, and all that allowed me to do was drink more. And freed up, my ability to carry on drinking and partying and doing things that I shouldn't be doing. That I thought was in the pursuit of happiness, or in the, some sort of bringing me some sort of happiness. Because I'm still under the impression, or under the illusion, that external things are going to make me happy, and that I'm somehow going to, own something that's going to make me happy inside. And it, I don't know, it felt like, well, there was no purpose. I'd made money. I had a son. There was women coming and going in and out of my life, and it was like, what is the point of all of this? Is that it? This is it now? Is it? There was just, what happens next? So am I just literally waiting to die now? You know, because theoretically, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Children, money, blah blah blah. What is this now? So, and it was empty. There was nothing there. There was no substance in anything, that I was, sort of acquiring or trying.
So that was your awakening.
Yeah. No, so yeah, just and then that was the awakening. Yeah, it was a bottom. It was a bottom 100%. I was drinking myself to death, theoretically. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. But if you'd have asked me, I thought I was having a great time. Because I wasn't homeless and on the street. I was in a club or in a bar or in a restaurant or in a hotel or in an airport or on a plane.
Yes.
But it was it was killing me. So killing my soul, killing my spirit, killing everything. It was just so disconnected, so wrapped up in self and selfish, only thinking about myself. No one had any. I had no concept of anything for anyone else, doing anything for anyone else, ever being of any use to anyone else on the planet.
Yeah.
It was all about me. What can I get? And when I get all of these things, then I'll be happy. Like we're all sort of told, generally in the West, and around, various places around the world, but that you're gonna be happy from that, and it's the biggest, such a lie, there is no happiness in there, and it's a miserable existence, and that's what I came to. That was my experience. So thankfully, a friend said to me, drinking and drugs and alcohol, if you're in that life, it's like your house is on fire, and it's up to you. When do you want to put the fire out? Do you want to put it out now when just one room's on fire, or do you want to wait for it all to burn to the ground before you realize you've got a problem, that your house is on fire? So I love that. I've always loved that that analogy, that the way she set that up. But so that was the start of my awakening.
I can, when you were recounting about the three days when you were in that dark place, I could feel the energy very, very strongly, and I felt like crying inside. It's like my higher self. I could feel my higher self very strongly.
Yeah.
So what brought you to YouTube, where you found me?
So the whole God thing, I've got to find a God. I've got to find my own higher power. I want to I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to take drugs anymore. I want to, I'm willing, and everyone just keeps telling me, just be willing, be open, to the possibility of there's something beyond this realm, this planet, this that there's potentially, maybe there's a little bit more to life than us just being smart monkeys. Do you know what I mean? Waiting to die. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to find God, and I started. I think one of the first places I found it was, I started looking into, I don't know if it was the first. Someone passed me a book called Letting Go, which was very good. It was about consciousness.
Yes.
And then I was put on to Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now.
Yeah.
And then that just made me more aware of consciousness. And then in there, that, just that whole premise, the power of now, that there is only now. Life is the eternal now. I found really, that's all there ever is. There's all there ever will be, is this eternal now. And that really blew me away. And during this time, I'm also meditating as part of the program. It's a prayer and meditation. So I'm praying to nothing or, anything, please just help, whatever. and then I moved on to NDEs, near death experiences.
Oh, yeah.
And Alex Ferrari, I think I've heard you mention him before.
Yes.
It's the New Soul podcast, or New Soul cast, whatever. Yeah, he's obviously got a catalogue of near-death experiences and NDs on there, super interesting. And I just it was like, how there's thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of these near-death experiences, never reported, never spoken about, and everyone seeing very similar things, and why would they all make it up, and why are they all seeing the same different some people are having them while they're still trapped under a car, or some are having it in an ambulance, and they're having it all in different places where there's potentially drugs, no drugs. And to me, it just like, okay, maybe there is something in near-death experiences, and there's something beyond this realm. And now I heard one that just really resonated. This lady was a scientist, and she said she was shown her life review.
Yes.
And during the life review, she sees a moment when the first time she's mean to her sister, and when she's young, 9 or 10 years old, and then she then is able to see it through her sister's eyes, or feel it through her sister's body, or somehow, but she experiences it as her sister. Her sister didn't, show any emotion at the time, but then she's sort of traversed into her sister's body or whatever, and feels her sister's pain, and it really made it really emotional. Do you know what I mean? Like, for the first time that you could hear it. Like, I'm hearing her story, how like she'd felt the pain that she'd caused to someone.
Yes.
And then that really resonated with me, just like how much, what we do, everything we do, every action, all of our actions, all of the time, have the effect they affect this world, and how that energy never stops. That ripple effect of our actions, and I shout with the guy in the traffic, and then he goes home and shouts at his wife, and then the wife shouts at her kids, smacks the kids, or what, the energy just never stops.
Yeah.
And where every decision we make constantly all day is putting out either this negative or this positive energy that's rippling, that's never ending into this world. If you make 10, 20, negative interactions with people in one day,
Yeah.
and everybody else is doing the exact same thing, why would we expect any other type of world than the one we've got? Do you know what I mean? Of misery and suffering, pain and anger, jealousy, rage, all of these different things. And so getting back to the NDE, so it just really resonated, and then it was a softly it happened. It didn't happen, it wasn't a burning bush moment. I didn't have a lightning bolt strike or anything. It gradually came on me. I was just 1 minute I don't believe in God or anything, and then now I do. But it's different though. It's not. It's a spiritual God. It's not a religious God.
Yes.
I think Alex Ferrari said it. He said, which a little quote he says that I really love, which is, God doesn't have a basement where he burns people. And it's just like, well, okay, a God of love, and that a God of love I can get on board with. I can understand. That makes more sense. That we're all here as part of this, is illusion. Who knows what it is? This whole density or realm or whatever it is that we live in here, and then so that brought me on to through there, then into the Law of One, the Ra channelings, with those guys, and then that was just a game changer for me, the Ra channelings, and obviously that's how I came to find you eventually. But the Ra channelings, just how it was Yeah, it was life changing. How this, you know, young girl, early 20s, mid 20s, I think she was, when she's
Yeah.
channeling that stuff, had answers for the universe that were that made sense.
Yes.
That completely made sense. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh right, yeah, of course. Simple things, you know. There's a great
Yeah.
one in, I think they ask what was the very first part of creation, and she channels back, in the beginning there was infinity. What was the next step? Then infinity became aware. Right, okay, that's God. That, you know, if I'm going to describe God, infinite, it's infinite, and it's aware.
Yes.
Okay, that's that. Yeah, okay. There's a vague conceptualization of what I can start to understand as potentially as what God, rather than, you know, the big beard and the guy in the cloud. So yeah, and then through that, I just wanted to find more Ra channelings, and I'm shifting through Ra stuff, and there's lots of channelings with lots of people, you know, and I'm like, no, and I've been, you know, just trying to follow my intuition.
Yeah.
And then I come onto your page, and I came to you, and I was like, there's this lovely little contemplative nun. You know, I was like, that's my girl, 100%. She's the real deal. And went to your channel, and I listened to some of your videos, and I went, yeah, I know Ra. I know her. That's the real deal. So I'm fully on board. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I
So
come about.
that means so much to me because you know you wrote that it's the real deal.
Yeah, yeah,
And you know, I needed that confirmation. So it means a lot to me. Thank you.
yeah. Good, 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 good.
Yeah. So here we have Osmanthus Karen Dole joining us earlier, Rachel. So thank you for being here. So going back to your childhood, did you notice anything? I mean, like anything that is experiences like psychic or paranormal in nature?
Um, Not really. I mean, I, you know, like I mentioned to you earlier, just before we started, I had some minor premonition stuff, you know, where, you know, I could sort of, you know, see, you know, I mean, almost like what would you call it, deja vu, you know, where I'd have an image in my mind, but I know it was a dream, but it would just
Yes.
be it would be a dream I had, and it would just be, you know, me in a kitchen talking to someone, and I wouldn't have any backstory or forward story or anything.
Yeah.
I would just I'd be aware of the kitchen and this place and that moment, and then, you know, months later or years later, I'd find myself in that thing, and I go, oh, that's that dream. That's that dream I had, you know. So only little tiny little things, not really big, you know,
Yeah.
channeling or any sort of, you know, esoteric stuff.
Well, I from what you share, I would say that you would probably come down as a wanderer, forgot all about your mission in life, your purpose in life, and then your spirit team wake you up.
I hope so. If that's the case, and I hope I'm on the right path. But yeah, just yeah. Now, you know, through the work I do, you know, through with what I do on the program I do now, it's just it's about helping others, and just trying to work with others and help
Yeah.
others, and just so yeah. So if that's what wanderers do, then
You know,
I'm fully
I,
on
I
board.
can I can sense the energy. It's so strong.
Oh,
I,
thank
I,
you.
I don't get it with just anyone, but the energy is so strong. I can I can really feel it.
That's nice.
So your
Yeah.
spirit team is very strongly with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only just finding it. You know, it's not been something I've been connected to. I've not been connected to myself. You know, I've been, you know, living a sort of lie for, you know, 49 years, 50 years. So, you know, so so yeah, this is all, it is fairly new. You know,
Yeah.
but it feels, you know, but it does. Um, it feels right, you know, helping others. I mean, I was in the fire brigade. I was a firefighter for 11 years, 10 years. So wanting to help people is always is in my nature. These
Yeah.
are these are
So
things that go ahead.
do you channel?
No, I don't. No. I did try. I used your video once and
Ah,
did attempt to channel, not channel. Well, I just thought I was watching your video and I'm doing the meditation, doing the chakras and blah blah blah. And I really felt the energy. And
because it's like my spirit team asking me to ask you that question. So
uh,
I'm pretty sure you do or you will, because
poss-
your energy is just so strong.
yeah,
I know when the energy is very strong, I find it difficult to talk, and then I start to see double. But I feel it mostly in my head.
yeah, okay,
So I know your spirit team is very, very strongly with you. I can feel your energy.
it's good. These are good things. These are good things. This is positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get to you were sharing about the 12-step program, and it's beautiful. Could you
Mm.
share about that? Because I never thought of that 12-step program as being that spiritual.
Yeah, it's the whole premise of the program is a spiritual awakening. That's what the whole program's about. It literally says in the book, this book is about a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
um, and um, it's it's set up in a way that the chapters are sort of laid out through to bring you to that awakening. Not everyone finds it. It doesn't have a fantastic success rate. People don't. It's a whole change of life. It's a change of change completely. Changing your will. Over. It's hard to say, but just living to a positive way of life in all your interactions, and knowing that any negative interactions are going to negatively affect you. And I think Buddha said it. We create all of our own suffering. And if I bump into the guy, or a guy bumps into me in the street, and I turn around and try to fight him, or blah blah blah. I'm creating that. Or I can just go, sorry, brother. My
Yeah.
mistake, and move on with my life in peace. Or I can roll the dice with my life. I go to hospital, he goes to hospital. I go to prison, he goes to prison. Darkness just gets more darkness. But the 12-step program, yeah, it's just about that. It's just about looking for just love and tolerance. That is is the kind of the heart of it, is to put love and tolerance into love and acceptance, love and tolerance. Just how you want to interact with the world. And yeah, the 12 steps are super powerful. But it's you have to commit to it. You have to really want it. You have to be willing. And then there's a beautiful life, a genuinely beautiful life. Life has purpose. Life has meaning. Helping others, working with others. When I work with people now, and I see, I sponsor people now, and when I see, their lives get back together, their children and their wives,
Yeah.
back, and lit up, and they're present for their kids. It's an amazing life. So, and I get to put in a little bit of input in, just as much as just passing on the information that was freely given to me, exactly the same as I got it. And that's so just by doing that, allows hopefully helps others. And but yeah, no, it's a real spiritual awakening. I had no idea that's what this journey was, where this was going to take me, where this program was
Yeah.
going to take me, in as much as spiritual awakening, finding God, all of these things,
Yeah.
are infinite creator. And
So
yeah, no, it's been amazing.
yeah, if I may interrupt you. So if you look at me, if you find me funny right now, it's because this energy is so strong, and I heard the words, "You are one of us."
Yeah.
You resonate with the law of one.
Yeah.
You resonate with the law of one.
Yeah.
And the law of one gives you a complete change around of your life.
Yeah.
And then now that you are here, this Ra's energy is so strong with me that I am just acting funny. If you find me acting funny, it's because of that. The energy is so strong. I am in the grip of this energy, and I heard the words, "You are one of us."
That's like
Earlier on, they pushed me to ask you about, are you channeling?
right. Yeah. 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 I
I
mean,
I will be surprised if you end up channeling them.
I mean, I was going to say, I did, I, I did listen to you because you did a video on connecting with your higher self. I don't know if you
Yes.
remember. Yeah. So, not paying attention. I, meditate and meditate every night, every evening, every day, sometimes through the day as well. Um, and um, and I just, quite often I can do short meditations. I could do 20-second meditations.
Yeah.
I like and just try and just focus meditations. Nothing really transcendental. But I might just do a meditation where I'll just breathe, and each breath in and out is 1 second, and just try and get to 10 without having another thought other than the counting, just no other thoughts. So just try and focus on just the breath and just have that 10 seconds. And if I can get through the 10 seconds without having any other thought, then that's a nice little focus meditation I can do.
Yeah.
And so you've got this meditation. I'm sat on the edge of my bed. I'm watching the video, and I'm sort of repeating as you're saying the stuff, and I'm doing the chakras. And
Yeah. But
really, I had a really strange moment. I really felt the energy in the chakras, like, which I've never felt since, and I've never felt before. I've done a couple of chakra meditations where I could, the heart one, I could feel, my heart pulse in my neck. I could feel the neck pulse in my neck, and third eye, blah blah blah, and but I could just really feel this really really strong, and like I was like, that's unusual. And I'm sort of going up and down, checking each chakra, and it's like, it's all there, and
that's,
and
that
then you
is,
said
yeah.
there was like a phrase in the video. You say, like, you ask or you give permission for your higher self
Yeah.
to come into you, or to come into you. I say the phrase. I say the chant, and I'm sitting there. And I'm sort of concentrating on my third eye, my heart, and my thing. And all of a sudden, like my sort of jaw moved, and I went, "Is that me? Did I just move my jaw?" And then I'm like, "Okay, if something starts talking through me now, I'm literally going to jump out the window because I'm not ready. I'm really not ready for this." And I'm just sort of focusing, and the energy's there, and it's flowing up and down, and then a vibration is the only way I can describe it. It was a
That's
vibration, and it's
that's
come all up the sides of my arms like a really intense vibration, and I'm like, something's happening, and
that
I'm
is
not sure. I'm not fully on board yet. And I was like, okay, I need to pull out. I need to not do this. And I opened my eyes, and it was still happening. And then and I just said, okay, look, I'm sorry if I've opened up something that I wasn't supposed to, wasn't ready for, and I, and yeah, and I stopped it there. But yeah, so I had that's been my most moment I've had, sort of unusual moment I've had with regards to any of this stuff. Yeah,
that is amazing, because right now, I this is the first time I get into this state, and the energy is so strong, and that is how you feel the energy. I mean, what you describe, that is not very ordinary or common. And when you describe you can feel the chakras going up and down, and that is how the Ra do it.
yeah,
So they have a meditation, and I follow their meditation where
yeah.
so what the meditation was by the other channeler, and so Ra was saying that see yourself under the pyramid, and then
Okay.
feel the light going in and
Yeah,
opening all the chakras, and then
that's it. That's
feel
it.
the light going up and down up
That's it.
and
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
That is how
That's the
he
one.
did it.
It felt like it was in a loop, like coming out. Like it felt like it was
Yes,
almost like that. Yeah. It
yes.
was. But it might have been
That,
going down. Yeah. But it was like. Yeah. It was. Yeah. It was very strange. Very strange. I've never had anything like that since. It's
yeah,
been.
I
To be
was
honest, I've been a little bit scared of it. You know, I was a little bit okay, but I think my mind was open. Because I wasn't paying attention. I'm just watching you, and I'm like, okay, I need to do this, and I'm sort of looking at my phone and just watching the phone, and okay, do that, yeah, okay. So my mind was just sort of free, and maybe it let something in. Maybe I actually, but yeah, it was a different experience for sure, for sure, for sure.
that is remarkable because that is how I experience their energy. When the energy is so strong, that is how they get your. I can feel my head vibrating, and
Yeah,
when you feel your body vibrating, that is how I experience their energy. So
yeah,
you are actually experiencing their energy.
okay, okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit daunting, the thought of something potentially sort of talking through me, and and uh, yeah, I don't know if it's something I'll ever uh, I don't know. The higher self, I quite like the idea. The higher self, I think I can. I mean,
Yes.
if we're all one, then I suppose it doesn't matter anyway because it's all this. We're all one, and we are all the same thing. Um, but yeah, I suppose there's that tiny little bit of fear still, which I need to. Any fear is negative, so I need
Yeah.
to. I need to
Well, you just have the prayer of protection, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they don't come. They told me they won't come in that way, but because they know I want it and I invite them in, then they
yeah,
come in. I only invite them and the archangels in, not any not any entities, and I don't deal with any other entities
yeah,
because I'm safe with them and I know they will protect me.
yeah.
And once you have that protection, you don't have to fear because I am my whole body is going crazy right now because of your presence.
Mm.
So I am sensing your energy. And it's like they are trying to burst through me. I can feel it.
If you want to channel Trudy, you go on. You can. You want to go into something? I got to try and rustle up some questions or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Our
yeah.
shining lights. My friend also took the 12-step program with great success.
Oh, good, fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's if you want it, it's there, and yeah, it can be a real game changer, and not only that, just to make you, not a crap person anymore, but to genuinely happy, genuinely a good person, actually add value, bring something to the planet. I genuinely believe that it's really not. It's not. It's. I think people were under. It's when I help others now, I don't just help alcoholics or drug addicts. I literally try to help everyone. Anyone comes into my path. That's my path now. That's my journey now.
Yes.
And the and lots of guys I work with, and lots of guys who are much more senior than me, are doing doing the same work and out there, bringing, carrying a message and genuinely trying to change, make the world a better place. And if I, and even if I just make my circle better, even if I
Yeah.
just, I'm just a better father to my son, I'm a better son to my mother, I'm a better nephew to my aunts, and I'm, a better cousin to my cousins. And the people in the shop I see, if I'm just a nicer person to them, I make the world a tiny, tiny little bit better. If I'm just nice to just those people, just don't be a dick to them. At least add that. And then if they can do that for their circle and everyone, and eventually our circles will just start to link up. And eventually, we can, hopefully make the world a better place just through love. And
Yeah.
someone said to me, um, all the darkness in the universe can't blow out a single flame. That light will always shine through, and yeah, the love will always be the darkness, and just so that's just part of my life now, and yeah, it's not perfect. It's it's plenty of plenty of challenges and plenty of challenging people, and and me as well, and up up until recently. So it's a process, and I'm just trying to just try and make do what I can, and
Yeah.
be of service to others,
Well, that
which is
what?
part of the 12-step program and part of the law of one, which blew my
Yes.
mind. Service to others, it was like, hold on, there must be something in this, because it's the same message.
Yes. Because when you talk about that, and I connect with some of the channeling, that's the Raj message. About being of service to others. How you can shine off your light. When you do a good deed, it just goes out.
Yeah.
So just now a question pop in. What does your family think of this new you?
Um, my mum is obviously a massive fan, but I mean, like I say, I wasn't the traditional. I was, I live on my own. I wasn't with my family. I often didn't see them because I was drinking or doing my own thing and
Yeah.
disconnected. I was disconnected from my family, as I think a lot of people are. A lot of us can be. uh, they phone it. Oh, I don't want to talk to your mum right now, and don't want to talk to don't want to talk to them. And oh, do you have to go to this family function? You see them once a year,
Ah,
and it's can't. Oh, I can't make it. I'm busy. I've got to do this. I've got to, just very disconnected, and so they didn't see a lot.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, those close to you, like your daughter. So you have
son,
a daughter,
my son,
a
my
son.
son.
Yeah, your son.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit, it's a bit of a, yeah, it's been a bit of a change, for him. So he lives with me,
Yeah.
and he lived with me for sort of 3 years. So 2 years of me in the madness with girls and booze and party, and all that sort of nonsense here, and me telling him make money and get girls, and you'll be happy. And then now, like, be loving, be kind, be useful
That's
to
what I
others.
mean. He's probably thinking you're going crazy from one to the change. So our shining lights, he was addicted to drugs and alcohol, but now volunteers at the Samaritans. And
Yeah.
this is an interesting question. What neck of the woods are you from, Alex? Your accent sounds quite local.
Blackheath, Southeast London.
Yeah, I found out I was on Jordan, second medium Jordan Colburn, and then I found out our shining lights is from UK.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
great to see you here.
yeah. So, yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's been an interesting journey. Yeah, sure, and to yeah, see what comes next. But yeah, no, sorry, is that distracting in the back there? See what happens next, and yeah, no, it's my life now. This is all part of my life, and I'll looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing what comes next with regards to, and what my journey. My journey is my journey now, and hopefully I can help some people. If I help, we help one, we help all, and like I'm in Kids for Membership. Oh right, okay, cool. And the just like the lady there, Shining Light, we've just been saying, a friend working with the Samaritans, just doing things where I can be of service, and try and do that. And but I mean, obviously, I don't believe the creator cares how much money you've got in the bank. He doesn't care if if you've got to make money, and I help other people, and I employ people in the program now who come and work for me now, and do and try and give them a start, and who maybe have burned a few bridges, or And so yeah, so no, it's it's about trying to give back now, and just being a better person in life, and
Yeah.
hopefully
So
we'll
may
find.
so may I ask? You don't have to share if you don't want to. What kind of work are you into?
I'm a headhunter, oil and gas, in the oil and gas industry. So
Oh, really? No
guys,
wonder.
who work on the oil rigs, things like that.
No wonder you're talking about making lots of money. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that is a real, yeah. Trudy Campbell, I went through the 12 steps. They are amazing. But in that program, God is outside you, whereas with the three principles, it's through insight going within to our own divinity and our innate well-being. That's beautifully put.
yeah. I mean, Trudy, yeah. So it's amazing, but in that program, God is outside you. That's not my experience. My experience is that it's a God of your understanding, so that God can be whatever you want it to be. And God is I believe for me is consciousness, and that is the silence. That here's the thinking, is experiencing life through all of us. And we are with a individually having an experience on our own, as part of the creator. So no, 100% for me, it's definitely within, God's within, but is also everything. So yeah, I think it's yeah, that's my experience. But no, it's I'm not familiar with the three principles, but yeah, however we get there, sister, right?
Yes, Viviane. So that's why I say you have an amazing story. A very successful what do you call it, an entrepreneur, what, and then lots of, I mean, you obviously you make lots of money and girlfriends, booze and drugs, and then all of a sudden it's like you just turn your life around.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of not so successful stories. There's lots and lots of jobs. The fire brigades, 10 years. Thrown out because of drinking. And I was partying with some girls in the city and drove back to the fire station. And just horrendous. So blackout drunk. So it wasn't always it wasn't great at all, and lots of negative, shameful behaviour, and that sort of, what I believe drink does, drinking drugs do,
Yeah.
and everyone else, and you just don't care about anything else except yourself, and to 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 the detriment of everyone around you. So yeah, no, and I've been I was on I was I was a scaffolder for a little while. I got sacked from how do you get sacked as a scaffolder? I got laid off from being a scaffolder. I went on tour with rock bands doing the rigging. I got thrown off a rock and roll tour with like one of the heaviest like rock music bands in Europe, and I got thrown off of that tour in Russia, through drinking. And
Ah,
um, what else? Then I lived in Malaysia, sacked from that job through drinking and partying. Went to Singapore, same thing. Went to Hong Kong, same thing. And came back to London, sacked from another job through drinking. Blah, blah, blah. So it's been and then it got to the point where nobody else would employ me. So I had to start my own company because I was, I was unemployable. I was, this 45-year-old guy who, with, couldn't get a reference for. I couldn't get a reference for 20 years because of my reputation. My sort of antics and behaviour. So I, yeah, so I had to start. Plus, I was interviewing with guys who were half my age. At this point, I was moved into recruitment and already, and the guys were, these guys in the suits and in the city were, 20, 30 years old, and
yeah.
so I
But
started my own company. Yeah.
It's remarkable. You are able, to. It shows your personality and character that you are able to start your own company
Yeah,
when you become.
yeah. No,
Ah,
yeah, it's been yeah, it's been an amazing journey. But I mean, I don't know if I should go into this or not. Yeah, I'd lost because I'd lost my sister, who was very close. I was very close to my sister, obviously because we moved around so much.
yes.
And we lost her, 6 years ago now to cancer, and yeah, it's been, she's got kids and blah blah blah. Want to be there for her children, and it's all sort of coincided at the same time as me starting the company, and which I believe was either her or the creator or whatever, sort of putting me in a position where I could be able to, help and provide, and it started this journey to me getting to where I need to be, to where I am actually of help, you know, um, to those kids and blah blah blah. So, but yeah. No, it's been a it's been a long journey, and but yeah, thank goodness I'm through it now, and yeah, long may it last. And but yeah, no, it's been interesting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what's ahead, and
Yes.
yeah, being a service to others, and yeah, and having
So where do you think you are going to next on this path of
well,
awakening?
the the plan is to obviously keep going with keep trying to help people in recovery with, in general, helping people through the program, and then employing them where I can. And I've got some other ideas, some other businesses that I'm looking at, some app stuff, which is sort of in the pipeline I might do. But all of it with under the guise of trying to help others in how can I, be a service to others, and just trying to give people a chance, who maybe haven't got any chances left, like myself. And and I think, through recovery and through with the help of a creator, life has purpose and meaning, and it's amazing what the futility of life is gone, and all of a sudden you're not just going to a job because you have to, oh god, just to pay bills. Hopefully you can start to do something that you enjoy and take pride in, and love. Like, I love, in my job, it's, I genuinely get enjoyment from helping people find another job. Sometimes
Ah,
when I help people who may have been out of a job for a while, really desperate, whose family need them to, they need to, need employment, blah blah blah. I get some amazing phone calls sometimes, and when people thanking me, and so it's nice. It's like the fire brigade, the same feeling I got from the fire brigade when you genuinely help someone, and now when I help. Show this thank you, thanks, Shining Light. And it's yeah, it's the same feeling I got from the fire brigades. If this is when you help someone through recovery, when you save a life in the fire brigades, you're saving a life for a minute. I'm stopping you from burning to death in that 1 minute.
yeah.
But when you save someone in recovery, you're saving their life for life.
Yes.
You potentially, if they get it, if they get the program, all I'm doing is showing them what was showing me, just reading the book to them, basically. And in my experience, and then, but it's potentially changes their life, and not just their life, their wife's life, or their husband's life, or their children's lives, and all of, so it has a massive, a real thing that resonates with me, that of doing good. The fire brigade was superficial, getting paid. Not superficial. The guys do an amazing job, of course they do. But it was brief. It was a brief encounter. I had a scenario where a guy, we saved him one night, and then he managed to kill himself the next night. So you're only saving a life for a minute. And you
Yeah.
have no idea what's going to happen the next minute. Whereas this is an ongoing thing where you're genuinely, potentially, saving a life and other lives for a lifetime. So, so no, it's an amazing part of that. So yeah, anything I can do along that path will be a successful life for me, and I'll consider it a successful life if I can continue to help people and help others, and just bring some joy to the world, like you are doing, Tree.
I never really apply this to people I meet, but with you, I really think yours is a classic case of a wanderer. Come down on planet Earth, and then forget all your life purpose. And then your spirit team, just universe or God, whatever we call it, just brought you right back to your path.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people doing this,
Yes.
I can't take any sort of
Yes.
like
yeah.
incentive. There's lots and lots of people doing this stuff, and I was talking to someone, and they're not great success rates, these things, because people don't commit, or whatever, for whatever reasons. People don't like it, people don't like God, people don't want to hear about God. We've all been sold, don't talk about God, don't talk about God. It puts a lot of people off. Nobody wants to come in, and find God. That's the last thing I wanted. I didn't want to come and find God, but I was under the illusion it was a God, of a religious God, and
yes,
and so that very word has so much weight and complexity behind it that it put a lot of people off. So and so the success rate is not high with 12-step programs. It's not high at all. In people who stick with it and do it, I don't know any, then it is. But unfortunately, people don't do it. So you can, from what I understand from guys who have got much more experience in this than I have, they've worked with a lot of people, and they don't, they don't last, or they go back out and go back to drinking and that sort of that miserable existence of I'll just drink myself until I die, until I die, that would be the only joy in my life. You know what I mean? So it's not an easy gig for sure, but this is just the beginning for me. So on that journey. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I can hopefully help some more people. Got a couple of people through already, and fingers crossed that it carries on.
Yeah, Osmother said the world needs people like you, Alex. And then our shining lights, I agree.
Yeah. So so that's about it. But yeah, all good, really. Yeah. How's the energy? How's Ra? Has Ra got any messages for me?
Oh, I got distracted. You have a little dog at the back.
Yeah. Yeah, there used to be. That's Fury. There used to be two, Tyson and Fury. Tyson's with my mum now, and I've got Fury here. Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that the pillows was flicking, and then yeah, messages for you. Yeah, I just heard like continue doing what you are doing. But the energy is just so strong. When I channel them next, I will ask them about you.
Okay.
Because the energy is just so strong. Now I know why they divert you to me. Because
sure.
I kind of when you post a comment, and then when I talk to you, I just feel this. I don't just invite people on my channel just like that, but I felt very strongly pushed. And now, so like now when you were talking, the almost like even right now, the energy, the Ra collective energy is so strong. And then I heard, you are one of us. I think that was the message.
That's going to be a new tattoo. I think you are one of us.
Yeah, you are one of us.
One of us. Love that. I did actually have a dream. I had this weird dream not too long ago, and I only remember a very very short couple of seconds of it. But there's it's right at the end of some sort of, I don't know, trial or something, but there's entities or something in front of me. There was white, and the only bit of it I remember is so your service to self, your service to others. And it was like it was like I was deciding I'm going to be service to others. That was sort of, that's what I sort of gathered from it.
You know,
Yeah.
in one meditation, that was the time when I felt moved to place myself to channel Dawn for Life. And I could see them like that, white figures, going round around me, happy and celebrating. So your dream, they are white. The Ra Collective are light beings. When
Yeah.
you see them, it's like white light.
Yeah.
And they are very much, almost every other breath, they talk about service to others. It's very important to them. Yeah. And in my recent dreams, in my recent channeling, they will come through and then just talk about how important it is to get people, how much they are looking for people to channel them.
Really?
And so just now, earlier on, I could hear it, them asking me to ask you about channeling. Are you channeling? And then I heard, no, you are one of us.
Okay. All right. I mean, when Trudy, how does it work? So when you first started channeling, presumably there's no video, there's no camera, how did you?
Sounds like you are gently being introduced to the light beings, your guides. That's beautiful, your dream.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So did you just do it on your own? Did you video it? Do you hear the voice? Are you present?
So what I do is, for 1.5 years, I go to the extreme. I thought if I get the ground ready by meditation, once I get the ground ready, they will come in and just start talking. And they didn't. So I kept asking them. So one day, the Ra Collective told me, at the time I was communicating with them through session channel by another channeler.
Yeah.
And so they tell me that we suggest that you try to channel us lying down, because that is how the other channeler does it. So I tried that.
How does that information come to you? Is it just
No, I went to a channeler who was channeling them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went through her, and then so one day I was in meditation and I started speaking in my own dialect, like telling myself something. And at the time, I had access to the other channeler through the other channeler. So I asked them, and they said yes, that was us. And then another time, I heard myself channeling, and then my voice changed. So I asked them, and they say, you started with us, but then Emmanuel, an aspect of Jesus, came in. So that was the first two. And after that, I find that the only way I can channel, and I do that now. Actually, I have 2 ways now. So I set up the camera, just my iPhone.
Okay.
I just set up my iPhone.
Sorry, Trudy. So the very first time, do you know you're channeling? Like, what can you hear what's going on? Are you aware
that you see, I couldn't channel for a long time because I kept thinking that it would be like what happened with Suzanne Gisman, where this entity comes in and told her speak, and then she starts speaking like a man in a Russian voice or German voice, I don't remember. And they say, no, you keep expecting something big. That's why you can't. It's channeling is nothing like that.
Yeah.
Actually, when I started channeling, it is like conscious channeling. It is like I am doing it.
Okay.
And the only reason I know I was channeling, even when I was doing the conscious channeling, is because when I make a video on my own, I cannot even get simple sentences right. But when I channel, I don't even have to edit. Even now, if I were to do a video on my own, I have to spend 2 to 3 hours editing it. Recently, I got lazy, so I just asked them to help me, and then I don't have to do. But like if, for instance, if my English were very good and if I'm very proficient in all these things, I would think it's myself doing it.
Yeah.
But you will know because it's like taking a detection. The words will come in. And then you will know because you will say, I won't say something like that, or I won't use this. This word
But
is
you can hear it. You're
no mental. That's why it's very easy. That's why when you affirm it, it means so much to me because even though I know I could only be channeling, I still keep doubting. Did I do it? Because it is almost like you don't hear anything mentally. It's
Yeah.
just like having a thought. You know,
Yeah.
you get a thought.
Yeah.
And then so it's very like for instance, I asked them about when am I going to channel you? And they told me, you are hearing us already. We don't have to go through your dreams. So they went to you through your dreams.
Right.
We are going directly through your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And I told them, but I'm not getting it. And they say, yes, you are getting it. Well, it's because I thought they are my thoughts.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
do a video. I did a video on Buddhism and I used suffering, attachment, and for me, I thought it came from me. But then in a live channeling by the
Yeah.
other channeler, they used the exact same words. And then I realized it comes from them.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, when during meetings, 12-step programs, and blah blah blah, 100%. Sometimes people are channeling. You know, I've had experience. I mean, even now in this conversation with you,
yes,
I have no idea what I'm going to say in 10 words from now. You know, where's that information coming from? I have, you know, it's just it systematically sort of flowing through me, and you know, and
yes,
what comes out comes out. Um, but during meetings, when people are sharing experiences of, you know, their history with drink and alcohol, blah, blah, sometimes you know, there's some real powerful messages that come through that are just so profound.
yeah,
You know, some guys with, you know, I've had one or two moments. I'm told, you know, that they, you know, and you never understand. You never know what you're going to say that's going to really resonate with someone. I mean, I had a scenario recently where somebody I was working with had lost someone dear, very dear to them, you know, close family member,
yeah,
and he's come to the meeting, and I know he's I know he's emotionally not in a good place, and he's trying to not drink and blah blah blah. Young guy, and I'm like, I'm trying to find the words to try and help him, and I can see he's not paying attention to the meeting. He's, you know, his head's gone, and I'm like trying to channel something. I'm just like, God, just give me the words, to try and, you know, to encourage him or anything, you know. But it's a general share. It's not a direct message to him. I'm just sharing to the room of 30, 40 people. And I've got nothing. I've got a blank. There's nothing comes. And then a guy in the corner starts sharing, and it's having the exact same experience. Who just lost a family member very close to him, and how he was using the creator to help him to know that by not drinking, by having a connection with the creator in whatever you want to call it, through having a connection, you know, he was able to be there for the members of his family the other members of his family, who needed help as well. Not alcoholics, they're just people who are just suffering because of the loss of the family. And he put across this message, this just profound message of hope, of how he can be present today and help family members and help, his mum and his sister. And that message was the message that I couldn't have said, because I'm not going through that helped this other person. And it was, it was just, it was, you couldn't have written it. It was a real, like a real amazing moment. That was just, and we all talked about it afterwards, and it was like, wow, that was something happened there. These synchronicities, that happened, and they were able to, really sort of help each other. And then he knew, and then through his message, it helped this other guy. Yeah, which is so powerful. So we see it a lot. So it can be really, you're very aware of, these moments, things happening, seeing things in people's lives turn around, that you just think that's a miracle. That's how the hell has that happened? That all these synchronicities and all these things line up to where that the right thing happens, and a good outcome comes from it. But channeling, so quite often we hear people channeling,
like
a form of channeling.
Like for instance, I mean, I was channeling before I even know what channeling is. I used to write letters to my sisters, and then I will find myself writing like as though something is dictating. Someone was dictating to me. Oh, here, let me say goodbye to our shining light. Truly, your confidence have grown so much over the last year. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so Lisa, have a great weekend. I'm so glad you let me know you are Lisa Pa. I know Lisa Pa, but I didn't connect with our shining lights.
Sorry, I haven't had this comments on. I've had the private chat on the whole time. Sorry, guys, I haven't been paying attention to that. Anyway, all right, okay. Well, it was active. That's good.
So quite recently, I had someone come to me for a reading, and then later she wrote to me, and I was replying to her in email, and it was like spirit was dictating the whole thing to me. So I wrote it, and then I sent it to her, and then she was asking about it for another person. So she sent that email to the other person, and the other person used the information and get the job.
Really? Wow.
So that is channeling, even when we really don't think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sorry, I've got people just cut. I've got people coming to.
Okay.
I better wrap this up, Judy. But,
okay. Well, thank you all for being here.
It's a house where normal things
happen. And it's been more than an hour.
Finally.
Yeah, more than an hour anyway. So thank you very much, Alex, for coming here and sharing your story.
It's been amazing, and it was great to find you and to chat. And we've chatted a few times now, and but you're my spiritual guru. And,
well, when you want to, you can come back anytime and share what you are doing, what is going on. Yeah,
much appreciated.
Okay,
you asked me. I have to ask a question. What was the question that you close it out with?
Oh, I always ask, do you have a message for us?
I was thinking about this because you said so. Is be the light in other people's lives. That would be my message.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So we are the source of love in this world. We are the source of love in this world, and if we don't put it out there, then how would it be any different? So we have to so be the light in other people's lives, and it will bring you happiness.
Oh, great. Yeah. Okay. So we'll end it there. So thank you all, and again, thank you, Alex.
Lovely, Trudy. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah.